Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. How Abba Kyari's private treatment violates Quarantines Act. Kyari's decision to embark on private treatment against advice of government officials and top health practitioners violates the Quarantine Act and also runs full of the speech Buhari gave last Sunday during his nationwide broadcast. Fresh facts that emanate on how Chief of Staff to President Muhammadu Buhari violates the Quarantine Act to embark on a private treatment for his COVID-19 infection in Lagos against the directive and recommendation of senior government and health ministers officials. After being denied the usage of the private intensive care unit at Aso Villa, Abuja, and considering the Gwanada Specialist Hospital Isolation Unit too low for his standard or liking, Kyari opt to move to Lagos and find treatment for this virus. Lagos has one of the best functional infrastructure disease treatment and isolation center in the country. An Italian man who first imported the virus into Nigeria in February was successfully treated at the Lagos Center at Yaba before being decided to let go and return to his country. Another 23 persons have been treated and released from the facility. In fact, of a global lockdown and with many countries with functional health system closing their borders to international visitors, the Lagos Center is perhaps one of the few places to successfully deal with Kyari's case at this time. But against expectation and advice of Minister of Health, Kyari has chosen to be treated at a private facility in Lagos, where according to findings by Sahara reporters, there are already facts that other persons around the place could be infected by mistake. Recall that after returning from trip to Germany and Egypt and being infected with the virus, Kyari went about his daily activities as Chief of Staff to Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari and in the process exposed dozens of people to the virus. Hours after he was confirmed to have been positive, he emanated that 3 of his staff has caught the bug from him as well. A senior health minister official who spoke with Sahara reporters on Saturday said that the purpose of insisting that Kyari was placed in a public isolation center was for proper monitoring and control of the spread of the infection to further people. The purpose of the isolation center is to get public footage for monitoring and control of the infection. It can range in private treatment as in an infected disease. It is wrong under law. It was the same aggression that led to him infecting others when he came back from Germany and Egypt. He was told by the Nigeria Disease Control to quarantine for 14 days, which he refused, and now he has infected a lot of people. Kyari's decision to embark on a private treatment against advice of government officials and top health practitioners violate the Quarantine Act and also runs full of the speech Buhari gave last Sunday during his nationwide broadcast. During the broadcast where he announced the lockdown of Lagos, Ogun, and Federal Capital Territory in a bid to curb the spread of the pandemic. Buhari said, as a government, we will continue to rely on guidelines of our medical professionals and experts as the Ministry of Health, NCDC, and other relevant agencies through this difficult time. I therefore urge all citizens to hence hereby their, follow the guidelines as it's released from time to time with regards to the Quarantine Act. According to the Act, health authorities of the place to which infected people are prevented and noticed so that they can be treated accordingly, subject to the places of arrival to a medical examination, and such inquiries are not necessary with a view of their state of health and may be required to report any arrival and afterward as such intents during continuous supervision to monitor their health and to be sure how the disease is being controlled. But on Wednesday, Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Abayomi said he does not know the whereabouts of Kyari in the state, indicating that the top Aso Rock official has violated the directives of the Quarantine Act. Where is Abba Kyari? Abayomi said, we are exchanging information, but I haven't asked him for his location. It had been a long time we talked about his health. Furthermore, Section 5 of the Act says any person conversing and failing to keep to the regulation under the law, this Act shall be relieved of their duties and shall be fined and put in prison for 6 months. When asked on Saturday if any sort of action will be taken against Kyari for violating the law, none of the government officials approached by Sahara reporters were willing to respond. His option for a private treatment with his own resources, but were others not allowed to treat themselves? Were like how come he was granted the relief for him to treat himself? He has defied the regulation by treating himself in an unknown place. There is no evidence that the place he is being kept have been quarantined and is totally free and is properly well looked after. And even those that are looking after him, there is no evidence that they have the facilities to be able to cater for that. This medium allows for the spread of the disease as if they don't take care of it very well, will take it to their own families and friends, and so the spread continues and the purpose of the Quarantine Act is defeated. The distribution development comes as the country grapples with the continuous spread of the pandemic that has already seen confirmed cases to 209 and 4 recorded deaths. There are fears that with over 6,000 persons suspected to have come in contact with those infected now in the loose, and the figure confirmed to be going up more and more by the day. So the decision for Abba Kyari to have a private treatment is against the law, which according to the Act is punishable by fine and 6 months imprisonment. Will Abba Kyari get this same treatment? Will he be punished by the law? Will he be imprisoned, and will he pay the fine? These are the questions on the lips of Nigerians, because clearly, according to the Quarantine Act read by his master last Sunday, he has violated the Quarantine Act and is living free and being treated privately where no one has a knowledge. Abba Kyari should be prisoned and fined for what he has done. Well, Nigerians, you've heard it all. Nigerians are saying what Abba Kyari has done is not right. He has violated the act of quarantine, and as such, he should be imprisoned for 6 months according to the act, and he should pay a fine, a token of fine for his decision. Normally, when people have gotten this virus, they are supposed to alert the public and are supposed to be treated where everyone knows so that they can adequately be looked after. This has not been the case of Abba Kyari. When asked by the Commissioner of Health in Lagos, he said he's not aware of his whereabouts, but that's where they told us he was in. So if we are going by that, it means Kyari has gone and violated the act. It is well. So what do you think, Nigerians?